Hey, how's it going? Before we start this video, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to close your eyes. Yeah, just like that. I want you to imagine with me a dark, twisted world where a country is divided against itself, where there's corruption in politics, there's famine and poverty on the street. This dark, twisted year is the year 2024, baby. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. Ooh, Advil's Hasan arc? Is Advil getting political? Yeah, it's happening, baby. Now, if you're not aware, 2024 was definitely a year. It kind of sucked for both people on either side of the political spectrum. And if you don't remember it, but like, dude, you should remember this. It was last year. Keep up. But this year was controversial because it was the 2024 election. And this year they did something kind of different. Influencers and politics have always kind of coexisted, like epic rap battles of history, getting an Obama impersonator to meet Obama, or like Obama inviting YouTubers to the White House, or AOC playing Among Us with streamers, which spawned amazing content like this. That's a fucking government official. But this year was different because they did a new strategy where both political parties were sponsoring creators to promote them and pledge their allegiance to either side and their beliefs. In my opinion, this is terrible. But Advil, why is this bad? This sounds kind of nice. This sounds kind of awesome. Creators getting paid and they're spreading good message potentially. That sounds freaking legit. Yeah, see, I'm the Grinch again. I'm always fucking being negative. Why can't I enjoy things? Now, the reason I have such a big problem with this is because when creators would be sponsored by these political candidates, they didn't legally have to disclose that they were being sponsored. For some reason, and I can probably guess why, the FTC and the FEC wrote loopholes where if a creator is sponsored by a political party, it technically doesn't count as a brand deal. Where they are asked to promote them, they promote them, and then they get paid later on. To me, this is a huge fucking problem. What I think is honestly kind of funny, I found out about this from the one and only Tana Mongeau, every CSGO surf commentator's favorite creator. She talked about her podcast being reached out to promote a specific political candidate, which she declined, but in that they gave him a list of other influencers who had been paid to promote that same candidate.
I hypothetically was just offered a lot of money to endorse a political party, like millions. And then I was being allegedly told an alleged list of other influencers that have already hypothetically accepted money to do those hypothetical things that were hypothetically offered to me to hypothetically do.
I think we can hypothetically assume who those people are.
But it's not one or two.
Well, yeah, it's 12.
No, it's like hundreds.
Before you say, well, it's Tana Mongeau. Why would you believe her? She has no evidence and she's just kind of saying a bunch of shit. Well, I looked into it and it's 100% real. There's over $500,000 spent to hire Creator Grid Inc., which is a company that pairs political candidates with some of the biggest conservative creators in the world. And there's another company like this called Good Influence who worked with Kamala Harris during her campaign. And it's not just those two examples. There's a bunch of creators and a bunch of companies that do this. I was just using those two as an example. And I'm not really here to debate which side is better. I'm just saying both sides of the aisle have done this. And it's very obvious that this is happening because during the election, the rise of people who you would never, ever assume would make political content just started ticking up and up and up. And the biggest problem with this isn't the sponsorship. If you want to get paid by a political candidate, be my guest. The issue is you don't have to disclose it, or you did it during this election. Right after this election was done, they actually updated the guidelines for political candidate sponsorship. So now you have to disclose it. It's kind of funny how that worked, huh? But I think it's obviously extremely harmful to the majority of your young and impressionable fans to promote something that you might not even believe for a reason that they don't even know. And especially if you're getting paid to promote people like RFK Jr., you should have to say, hey, I'm getting paid. I really want to get the point across that I do think that this is a bad thing. And it might be hard to kind of understand why I think it's such a bad thing, because it really is just a normal sponsorship. It's for two reasons. One, I think when you're being sponsored by someone or something, you need to make 100% clear that is a sponsorship, that is something that you are being paid to promote, something that you might believe it or you might not, but either way, you're being paid to promote that thing. Regardless of whatever political beliefs you have, I think that is so important because it can really play on the faith and the trust that you've built with your audience if you don't do that. And number two, there's a lot of people who watch creators nonstop all the time. People my age, people a little older, people a little younger. And I have a theory that the people who didn't really care about politics or didn't really pay attention voted for a specific candidate because they saw someone that they liked promote them. them, whether it's playing Among Us with AOC or being on an Adin Ross stream. And the reason I think it's bad is because it completely gets rid of all agency in the person. It's just following someone who's getting paid to promote something. It kind of gets rid of the whole free thinking thing about being a human. And I know it might sound insane for me to assume that. I know it sounds insane that someone voted for Trump because he was Fortnite dancing on a live stream. But I really wanted to test that theory, like I do all the time here. So I went out and asked some people if these influencers impacted their vote at all. So I asked some of you, yes, my YouTube subscribers. If you want to join, then just there's a button to subscribe. You please. If they had been influenced by influencers to vote a certain way, and don't worry, before you think that this is a scheme, that this is a scam, that it was influenced, I put Americans only. So sorry, I got you there. Checkmate. People don't lie on the internet, okay? But this is what the graph said. So 60-ish people voted and 20 people said yes. It's not scientifically perfect, and it's not a full depiction of, what could or couldn't be real. But if we take this at face value, then that's a good chunk of people who voted purely based off influencers. Kind of proving my point just a little bit. And when I did go around asking people, it was kind of the same result. I didn't really get anything interesting from it, so yeah. I gotta keep the video interesting. I'm planning on going a bit more depth into this later in the video about my personal opinion, what I personally believe this means. Not just for the future of advertising for political candidates, but for the future of political and influencer sponsorships. And while it might not seem like a huge deal, like it's kind of not a big deal, who cares if these influencers are getting paid millions to promote a political candidate who might be good or who might not be? I can kind of understand that. While I don't agree personally, while I think it's a really big deal, I can kind of see the thought process behind that. But you know what is bad, but kind of in the same boat? Treason. That's why we're going to be talking about Tim Pool. Now, if you're unaware, Tim Pool is a right-wing commentator. He has a lot of right-wing talking points and kind of run tactical defense for people on the right. He's kind of like if Hasan was right-leaning, spent all of his time on Twitter, and made terrible music. And around September of 2024, he got caught with his involvement with Tenet Media. Tenet Media was a media news outlet that mostly targeted and was made for right-leaning people, having creators with insane follower counts. And Tim Pool, with his massive 2.4 million followers on Twitter, wasn't even the biggest name on there. But Tenet Media wasn't all that it seemed to be. It wasn't some safe haven for right-wing influencers to finally have a place to speak their mind. No, what it actually was a Russian propaganda platform, hiring massive right-wing creators and even smaller ones to make content for them to promote Russian propaganda, constantly talking about how evil Ukraine is and how they're the #1 enemy of America.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
The media was founded by two people, Lauren Chin and Liam Donovan, and they were paid by the Russian government to create this entire platform just to push Russian propaganda. And so obviously, eventually they got indicted by the US government. A lot of hell ensued. To me, the funniest part about the entire investigation, they got found out through Discord chats. They committed treason against the country on Discord. It's awesome. Now, what does this have to do with the 2024 election? Well, while it doesn't have a lot to do directly, I think it is important to also bring up, juxtaposed to what happened with the election. An independent content creator getting paid millions to do something that doesn't either directly align with their content or their beliefs, just for the bag. It's crazy that with how social media is now, the price of your integrity and your beliefs can be paid off for $100,000 an episode, which is what Tim Pool got, which if he did it for a year would be $5 million. And his other co-stars got paid $5 million, 100K, just an insane amount of money to promote Russian propaganda, which people ate up. People in his audience believed this, and because of that, it got promoted and it got cycled through the channels of right-wing people. You can still find people quoting Tim Pool as a source for why they believe that Ukraine is evil. And to me, that's absolutely insane. I cannot believe this is something that happens. Also, before you mention it, I fucked up shaving, so I might either look more or less bummy. I don't want to fucking talk about it. If I see a comment about it, you will be banned from my channel forever. I die. But the crazy thing about Tim Pool and this whole situation is once it came out, he tried to completely shut down any thought process that he could have known the entire time what Russia was doing. But also he decided to retract his statements about Ukraine being an enemy and decided to change his mind and really understand a new thought process, which is Russia might be bad. What? What? But it's not just Russia who's doing this, and it's not just people in our government now. It's pretty much anyone involved in anything political at all. Any conflict in the world right now has social media influencers in their pockets. Like, look at Israel and Palestine. Israeli foundations and governments have been paying influencers who are pro-Palestine to take down their posts about Palestine to promote Israel. And they've been paying Jewish creators to go to Israel and make content for them. And it's insane that this is legal, especially with no clarification that they're getting paid to do this. That's fucking insane. I don't want to hear about the Israeli-Palestine situation from the caveman Casey Neistat. I would rather have anything else happen. I even got my goat, James from Big Time Rush. Oh, fuck. No. Fuck. And it's absolutely insane. You can look up any country that is in any kind of conflict currently and then put paying influencers and it'll pop up. China, check. Colombia, check. Japan, check. The China one's actually crazy if you don't know what it is. They're paying Taiwanese influencers to come and tour China to talk about how great it is and how Taiwan should stop trying to be an independent country. It's kind of based. Don't worry. I know what you at home, you are thinking. But Advil, you've been doing a lot of info dumping and you've just been saying a lot of facts at me. What am I supposed to think? I can't think for myself. Tell me what to think. I'm glad you're asking. Let me talk about my final thoughts about the whole situation. Sponsorships are kind of lifeblood of influencers. We would not be where we are today if it wasn't for sponsorship, especially during the apocalypse and even now when ad rates are pretty good, but the cost of making a good video, a successful video, goes up and up and up. It's so beneficial that there's someone or something that is there to pick up the slack when either YouTube or just economics fail. But the sacred thing about brand deals that protects the person watching is knowing whether or not they are being advertised to. Sometimes it's extremely obvious. If you see a Raid Shadow Legends ad, not a single person on the goddamn globe will say, go download Raid Shadow Legends unless they're getting a fat bag. But for things political, where it's your opinion, where you can express your opinion, it kind of muddies that line. And especially young kids who will believe anything can be influenced and kind of groomed in this way by these influencers. To believe that certain groups or certain politics are better than others. And before you say that doesn't happen, that will never happen, look at all the people who watch iDubbbz, Leafy, Filthy Frank, Max Mofo, like 10 years later are still talking about how fucked up that made them. Ding, ding. And I'm glad that the FTC have both put restrictions on advertising and making it more clear what is an ad or what's not. But the issue is, these are things that benefit the people who make the laws. Do you think either one of the political candidates that we had this year would give a single fuck about this if it gave them that win that they needed? No one would give a single fuck. They wouldn't change at all. And they're only doing it now because the next 4 years are kind of stuck in place for now. So the question is, what really can you do? It sounds kind of hopeless. It sounds kind of Doomer Reddit Chungus meme. And it's kind of the double-edged sword of politics. People don't really pay attention or care to do things because it feels like the people in charge won't change or fix anything because they have all the power, but the only way to change or fix things is to put pressure on the people who have all the power. And that's the solution. Even if you feel like your voice means nothing, which has been a sentiment that has been growing, especially people my age, the 20-year-olds, that your individual voice, that your individual vote, that your individual text or call to your local state representative or government official doesn't mean shit in the grand scheme. I think it does. But even if it doesn't, doing something is better than doing nothing. And if you think the things in this video that I've been talking about are a problem at all, even 1%, give them a text, give them a call, reach out and try to speak your voice a bit. People need to start doing that more. It's a lost art of being not only an American, but being a person, being able to speak your goddamn mind and try to do things for the better of not just your life, your friend's life, your family's life, but everyone, your neighbors, everyone in between. Oh, damn. Give me in a political office. I would fuck that shit up. But sorry to end it on a patriotic note, which is kind of new, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. I have a bunch of videos that are not like this in terms of politics, but they're still fun, they're still good, they're still awesome. Follow me on Twitter. I am funny on there. I'm freaking hilarious. I'm gonna try to live stream soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. So make sure to follow me on Twitch. I don't know if I'll do it on Twitch, but if I do, follow me on there. And I don't know, donate $5 to me. Give me money. But I'm pretty sure that's it for me. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!
Breakfast with a bitch named Tiffany, Wrist gave me stink cause it's ivory, Got your mommy with me now, irony, Trying trying to pipe my drain, just fake a cavity. What? I got my panties up, and you withdrew. I got my panties up, and you withdrew. I got my panties up, and you withdrew. I got my panties up, so I'm the center of attention, and I'm